welcome to another episode of One Pittsfield with Mayor Marchetti. Later in the program, I will be joined by the two Jens, Jen Glockner and Jen Van Bramer. We are excited to have them provide us some updates for community events that are going to be happening in the month of February. But first, I have several updates to share with you. So where have I been in the last couple of weeks? A week or so ago, I was with Namel Soups, a local nonprofit that works to feed people through their support and small farms and connecting the community through agriculture. I joined them to help make several batches of soup that they delivered to seniors and families across Berkshire County. They even delivered a whole batch of soup to City Hall for the folks at City Hall to have. I attended a red carpet meeting with a local business to talk about their potential of relocating to Pittsfield. We met with Mass Development, the Mass Office of Business Development, Mass Hire, and many other folks in that red carpet team, and I'm hoping to be able to share some good news with you soon. I attended the BRT Advisory Board meeting, and we discussed normal routine issues that deal with the BRTA in the city of Pittsfield and the routes. And most importantly, we spent some time talking about the free ridership that takes place through the first half of this year for both regular transit and paratransit routes. I did my monthly radio shows with WBRK and Live 95.9 and many other community events throughout the city. As we do in every show, I'd like to send out some highlights and accomplishments. And so I want to send out a congratulations to Hot Plate Brewery for celebrating their second anniversary. And also just remind folks that Hot Plate is in a contest to be one of the Best Reader's Choice Awards for the best brewery in USA Today. And currently they were in third place out of 20. And so they had been in second place for a period of time. This is a you vote for your favorite brewery, so check out Hot Plate's social media and lend them a vote if you think that they should. And just as a reminder, if you're a business or organization that has something happening out into the community and you want us to share it, if you send an email to mayor's office at cityofpittsfield.org, and mayor's office is all one word, we'd be happy to share that information with you on a future show. So let's talk about the upcoming city council meeting on Tuesday. We have two appointments that are coming forward. One, the appointment of Victoria Edwards to the Community Preservation Committee, and this is a new appointment. And then reappointment of Laura Conolano to the Board of Assessors. And for folks that know Laura, she's our Chief Assessor currently in the city of Pittsfield. We have 3 grants that we're bringing forward. One of them we can maybe talk about with Jen later. It seems to be the hardest grant I've ever had to sign in my life because I couldn't find it. It just kept coming and going through a DocuSign process. And that's for $50,500 from the Mass Cultural Council, for the local cultural council. There was a stipend of $5,000 from the Mass Department of Public Health from the Office of Problem Gambling Services, and a grant for $17,955.25 from the Mass Department of Fire Services for a firefighter safety equipment program. There are 2 other items that are of importance. One is a response from Commissioner Morales regarding a petition from Councilor Cavey, Conant, and Lampiazzi regarding Casella, and the commissioner submitted a report. Now, there's nothing new in that report. Back in the first meeting in January, we discussed all of the trash issues that we were having with Casella. So this is just a courtesy response back because they filed the petition on the same night that we brought forth the update of how we were. I think most importantly, I'll be asking the City Council to join me in helping authorize the Mass Development Finance Agency to provide financing for Unistress or Patrica. They're located at 550 Cheshire Road. They're looking for an approval from the Pittsfield Industrial Development Finance Authority, which has gone defunct. And so in order for this process to work, the city of Pittsfield needs to give permission to Mass Development to do there. And there's some really exciting news coming from Unistress Patrica with a redevelopment and an expansion to the company. So there'll be more news to come to that and more jobs to the city of Pittsfield. So that's my quick update. We have a lot of fun stuff happening in the month of February. One of them, the mayor could probably potentially break his leg at. He avoided having to do sliding down the hill last year, and he lucked out because there was really no snow on the mountain. I don't think I'm going to have that same luck this year. So I'm sure I'll get put into a cardboard sled and forced to come down the mountain. So without further ado, let's begin our conversation with Jen Glockner. She's our cultural development director, and she's become a regular on the show. We were joking before we started. So she's the frequent flyer, Maya, and she wants to know if it's Delta or Southwest that she can get to Florida.
How can I go to Florida?
From being here. And also, we have Jen Van Bramer, who has started with us within the last month as our recreation and special events coordinator. And just like the former position and the former person, she started her job, and about a month later she had to run the Halloween parade. So you get thrown in by baptism by fire too. You've been on board about a month, and now you have a really big event that's coming up. So let's get into it. But we all know Jen Glockner, and we've had Jen on the show for quite a bit of time. So Jen Van Bramer, give the folks a little bit of bio about who you are, kind of what you've done in the first month that you've been here, and why you want to work for the city of Pittsfield.
I'm Jen Van Bramer. I was born and raised in Pittsfield, graduated from MCLA with my bachelor's degree in English and Communications. I previously worked at Berkshire Art Center, formerly known as IS-183 Art School, for 9 years. Started there as an intern, then became their summer camp coordinator, and then most recently I was their communications manager. Really excited to work with the Parks and Recreation team as their new recreation and special events coordinator. For the last month, I've been working on our Snow Angel program, getting volunteers signed up to help neighbors in need with snow removal assistance, and then also planning our Winterfest, which I'm excited to talk about. I'm just really looking forward to working with the Parks and Rec team and planning some upcoming events for the season.
So for those that may not know, your sister works in my office as the Director of Administrative Services, and we're bringing her into this because I'm going to go off script, and she doesn't like it when I go off script, but you just brought up something that I think is important to kind of talk about, and that's the Snow Angels program. So I know that we tried to get it off the ground last year, and I don't think we had much success with finding volunteers to do it, but I happened to be at a School Building Needs Commission meeting, and one of the people who had been saying to me, that's a great idea and it's a great program, but you need bodies and volunteers to do it. He let me know that he actually was partnered with a volunteer and it's being successful. So can you just give a shout out of that program before we do the rest of what we're doing?
So we have about, I want to say 10 volunteers, but still a lot more neighbors who I'm looking to match. But it's been going well so far. We had some volunteers through RSVP and then some other local community help as well. So yeah, we're kind of still working on making matches, but a lot of it's been going well. And our volunteers have been out there helping with snow removal from sidewalks, driveways.
And if someone's watching and they want to become a snow angel and start shoveling out folks' walkways, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can email parks@cityofpittsfield.org, and then we'll get them signed up.
Perfect. So now to the exciting stuff. Not that that wasn't exciting, but I think that's an important piece of what we do. And we know that we have a lot of seniors across the city that need help shoveling their walks. And it's not all about punishment and saying, hey, here's your fine for not shoveling your sidewalk. The city is actively involved in trying to match people up to do that. So the month of February, we have two exciting things happening. We had the Winter Festival at Clap Park, and we had the 10 by 10 Festival, which is probably in more than its 10th year of existence.
14.
And so, Jen, let's talk a little bit about the 10 by 10 Festival and all of the different events that are going to be happening.
Yeah, the 14th annual 10 by 10 Upstreet Arts Festival. Julie Boyd from Barrington Stage Company came to this office more than 14 years ago and said, I'm going to start at Barrington Stage Company the 10 by 10 New Play Festival. Every 10 minutes, a new play starts, 10-minute plays. And we want the city to be involved in this and have an overall festival. So the city said, great, thank you. Yes, we will. And so 14 years later, it's ongoing, and there's art exhibits like here at the Liechtenstein. There's the Berkshire Art Association art show at the Clock Tower. There's fireworks. There's ice sculpting. Berkshire Museum is doing some stuff outside of the museum this year because of renovations. Berkshire's Jazz, Jacob's Pillow. I just counted more than 70, about 75 events over the course of the 10 days, including the Winterfest. So there are a lot of events happening from February 13th to February 23rd as part of the 10 by 10 Upstreet Arts Festival, including the Winterfest. And it's all on our website, lovepittsfield.com. But yeah, it's been going 14 years. Hard to believe.
And earlier we gave a little shout out to Hot Plate, and so Hot Plate has played a role in the 10 by 10,
Yes.
where they unleash
A beer every day.
beer every day.
10 beers. And they also associate it with a community event, usually benefiting some organization, but at least highlighting some organization. And so it's awesome. 10 days of beer releases in conjunction with some kind of fun event at Hot Plate.
And this year we'll have a new entity join us. Just a couple weeks ago, we did a ribbon cutting for a new cafe downtown. And so Wander will also be hosting some events during the 10 by 10 festival.
That's right. Wander is behind Tito's, and it's just an amazing space. And we're happy that they came on board, because we do a call out for anyone that wants to take part in anything during these 10 days. And they come forward and give us the information, and we post it for free. So it's a good thing. It's great.
So to me, there's something for everybody. You want to grab a beer, there's a place to grab a beer. If you want to have some storytelling, you can grab fireworks, you can check out art displays, you can check out 10-minute plays at Barrington Stage. And you said 75 events over the course of those 10 days. I know Love Pittsfield email has some of the events, but where else can folks go get the full schedule of what's taken?
lovepittsfield.com. It has a 10 by 10 schedule. It's lovepittsfield.com, and you click on the 10 by 10 festival under events, or it's right on the homepage, and it goes day by day into what's happening starting on the 13th. We're having an opening reception for this wonderful show on the 13th from 5 to 8. This show at the Liechtenstein features muralists, Berkshire-based muralists, and there are 10 of them, because we do like to follow the 10 theme when possible. There are 10 muralists off the streets, it's called. The artists come off the streets and onto the walls of the Liechtenstein, which is awesome. This space is city-owned, and people don't realize it. So many people come in here and say, oh my gosh, I didn't even know the space existed. So come check this show out, February 13th from 5 to 8. But we're also open at other times, Wednesday through Friday, 11 to 3. It's good stuff.
And just looking around, there's some pretty good art on the walls right now, with a variety of artists and kind of a variety of themes, right? I mean, I'm looking at some Rockwell-esque stuff. I'm looking at some abstract type stuff, and I was looking at some pretty detailed animal creations. And so come on down on the 13th from 5 to 8. We'll come back to you, but one last question, because you mentioned fireworks. So fireworks are a big thing in the city, no matter whether they're 4th of July or following a Pittsfield Suns game. So when can folks expect to see the fireworks? And I'm going to assume, because we're not going to break the rules, we're going to have 10 minutes of fireworks, not 11.
10 minutes of fireworks. Time it, for sure. Saturday, February 22nd at the Common. Winter fireworks are cool because they go off around 6 o'clock. You don't have to wait until 10 or 11 at night. It's very family friendly, 6 p.m. And the Berkshire United Way does a fun thing beforehand at the church. And Opal Raven is doing fire dancing too in between. So lots of activities from starting at 3:30 at the church, and the fireworks will go off around 6 o'clock.
So I'm glad you just said that, because someone asked me about the church and I didn't know the answer as to whether or not something would be happening there with the construction that was happening. So that
we are able to still hold it on that Saturday. Berkshire United Way is spearheading that.
So other Jen, it's winter. You guys are planning the second annual Winter Park Festival to be held at Clapp Park. I attended it last year. It was cold. That was about the only winterish thing about it. There was ice on the mountain, no snow. So talk to us about the event. I mean, it's plenty of snow on the ground currently, and we're taping this show on Friday that will air on Monday. And by Monday, we can have another close to a foot of snow on the ground, depending upon how this storm tracks. So looks like you're going to luck out and you actually have snow on the ground for a winter festival. So talk to us about the festival.
Yeah, so it's coming up. It's our second annual Winter Festival on Monday, February 17th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Right at Clap Park. It's a free, family-friendly event featuring a variety of different activities, from group-led activities with Mass Audubon, who will be doing some snowshoeing. We also invited the Berkshire Natural Resources Council, BNRC, to do a winter census safari, which should be pretty fun. And then we also have the return of our cardboard sled races and design contest. So start preparing those designs and bring them on out to the sledding hill. And then we also have some snow sculpture building. So artists, whether you're a beginner or a professional sculptor, you can come on out and starting right at 10, you can build your own snow sculpture, and then judging will happen towards the end of the event. And then we also have invited some other city departments for a touch-a-truck section of the park. So we've invited police, fire, parks, and public services to come on out and bring some city vehicles for kids and their families to check out. And then finally, we also have a small campfire with s'mores and hot chocolate provided. So it should be a pretty fun-filled day.
So I was there last year. The s'mores and hot chocolate were a hit. So let's kind of just talk a couple of things, because we've said bring your sled, your cardboard sled. So what are the rules? What can I use to build my cardboard sled? Can I use tape? Can I use staples? What can I use to build my sled?
Yeah, so you can use any type of cardboard. You can use tape, paint, glue, and you can decorate it however you see fit. Just make sure that there's no sharp edges or points that may injure other racers. So you're trying to make sure your sled is as safe as possible. But yeah, it's pretty open. We'll have the design contest. So we have a few judges who will kind of inspect sleds at the top of the hill before the races begin around 11. Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, there was a school bus as one of the sleds from last year. One of the kids designed it as a school bus. They're like, "Hey, get in this." I'm like, Looks like I'll have one less leg when I get to the bottom of the hill. So
Our side does awesome.
Yeah, they're involved.
Yeah.
There'll be some of our Jake and Lindsay from our side are two of the judges, so they'll be there. And more do's and don'ts of the sled making can be found on the Parks and Rec Facebook page and Instagram as well.
So I'm going to follow that up with the snow sculpture, ice sculpture. I know that I did a couple other events, and we were kind of trying to talk and encourage folks. And I told people to bring their own tools. And that's all I said, because I was like, I don't know that you need to bring tools for a snow sculpture. And so what are the type of tools that folks need to bring in order to be, because you said if you're an expert or you're a beginner. So as a beginner, I have no idea what to do.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to bring tools. You could totally just use your hands and build kind of any snow sculpture, from a snowman or woman or friend to kind of something more abstract. It's totally open to whatever you want to build. Tools, maybe like some shovels or some buckets, or kind of like, I'm thinking like when you go to the beach and you build a sandcastle, kind of tools you would bring for that, you would bring to this. So.
Okay. Yeah. So you've talked about the winter hike and the snowshoeing. We've talked about the other events. Is there any, it's a 10 to 1. Is there food options there? Is there a food truck? Anybody coming to?
No food trucks, just primarily the s'mores and hot chocolate at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. S'mores for breakfast.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was kind of on that page.
Yeah.
We were talking Winterfest. We're talking 10 by 10. It's winter time. We're trying to promote the winter activities. But in both your departments, it's not just a winter department. We have stuff happening all year long. Parks, Jen, let's talk about some of the events that are coming up in the spring and the summer for your department.
Yeah, so the recreation program, we're currently planning our annual Egg Scramble event at the Common, which is happening on Saturday, April 19th. So the Easter Bunny will be there. Plus, we'll have some balloon twisting and face painting from BTC Entertainment. So that should be pretty fun. And then we are also partnering with Downtown Pittsfield Inc. to have our Celebrate Spring Beach Party at Onoda Lake. And that's during the week of April vacations or spring break, which is Wednesday, April 23rd from 3 to 5. And then to wrap up April, we have our annual Arbor Day celebration on Friday, April 25th. We're going to do it this year at the United Church of Christ on South Street. So that should be good. And then we also, in May, will be planning our Wild Acres Fishing Derby with the Conservation Department in May. So.
I'll be at that one because my big goal there is to see how many of the parks and recreation directors are actually going to touch the fish or they pass it off on the other people that are there. So I'll be checking that out with. So challenge on. You're going to have to hold those fish.
I'll try.
Okay. All right. Jen, I know we have First Fridays coming up in just a couple of months, but you also have a number of art exhibits that take place here. And, we just talked not too long ago about one of my favorite events here in the Wreath Auction. So let's kind of talk about upcoming stuff here at the Liechtenstein Center and other cultural events.
Yeah, so we are at the Liechtenstein Center for the Arts, which is where the Office of Cultural Development is. We're so fortunate. It's just around the corner from City Hall. And we have rotating art shows here every month. Right now, we have the Off the Street show, as we said, featuring Berkshire muralists on the walls, off the streets, onto the walls. There's 10 of them for the 10 by 10 festival. But then in March, we partner with the Irish Sister City Commission to do the 40 Shades of Green show, where we have a call out right now for art. If anyone out there has art that is Irish themed or green in nature, then you are welcome to submit it to the show. And we have an opening reception planned on a Sunday, March 2nd, featuring all of the Irish shenanigans that we know that the Irish Sister City Commission does. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then we partner with the Berkshire Art Association to do the College Fellowship Show in April. That's been going on for a long time. May, we do art in our schools with the Pittsfield High School AP art students and beyond. And then June, we have a solo show featuring Jay Tobin, which is a legend artist in the Berkshires that has been around forever. So we're excited to welcome him. July and August, CATA, Community Access to the Arts, is coming in. And then we go on and on. We are actually booked through most of 2026 at this point because people want to come to the Liechtenstein and be a part of this cool show. It is a white wall gallery, which is very unusual, and it's good stuff. It's city owned, it's welcoming and open and fun. So we encourage everybody to come check it out. But if you have any Irish themed art that you have, 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional, anything, then let us know. cultural.development@cityofpittsfield.org. because we will likely accept you into the 40 Shades of art show.
Any highlights about First Fridays?
First Fridays, we're working. I know it's very it's hard for me. I try and get through the 10 by 10 and then flip my switch. But this year we have been doing a lot with the First Fridays at 5 before the 10 by 10 is over. So yes, we're planning May, June. There will not be a First Fridays in July because it's falling on July 4th. August and September, we're talking to several different entities. There was going to be a bike rodeo of sorts in May. We have bands booked. The Whoozy Shakers are coming back. They were a big hit last year. And then there will be a call out for vendors again for a maker's market. We're working on the beer garden and hopefully trying to expand that. We have a meeting coming up with all of the people that are going to say, that's a great idea in that meeting. So stay tuned for information on that. But yeah, it's going to be here before we know it. I mean, there's all the snow on the ground right now, but it's boom, going to be summer.
Well, and it was interesting. I say that I just did a radio interview, and that was the first question. So talk to me about First Fridays in May. And I'm like, I don't know. There'll be one.
There'll be one, and it will be on the first Friday.
I'm not the guy planning.
Hey,
I'm not the guy
it will
planning.
be fun. That's all you have to say.
And I'm sure there's plans in motion, and so first Friday, May, June, August, and September, 4th of July. We'll leave that to the new leadership of the 4th of July parade
Yeah,
committee
not too excited to know.
to see what's going to take place. But I know they're making plans. 4th of July parade. We talked about First Fridays on 4th of July, and nothing succeeds in Pittsfield post-parade on 4th of July other than folks going to Wacona Park and baseball, beer, apple pie, whatever the case may be, fireworks. And so it doesn't necessarily lend itself well to try to create community events on that day, because Pittsfield is a city of tradition, and folks go back to their prospective barbecues at home and are not much for those kind of things. So unfortunately, time goes by fast, and the show is over, and one Jen is smiling and one Jen is going, phew, this is over. He's done torturing me. But thank you both for joining me, and thank you for the work that you do. I will be at Winterfest and a good number of 10 by 10 events. I think I already have my tickets for the reception of 10 by 10 at Barrington Stage on one of the days. I know there's a number of the events, and just up the 13th, and I know I have an event to go to at 6 on the 13th, but we'll make a stop in and out. So thank you both for joining us, and thank you for the work you do. Folks, maybe we should expand this show to an hour. I don't know. I kind of like the 30-minute show. It gives you the opportunity to get some highlights and to get brought up to date on what's happening in the city. So for now, we'll sign off, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks for the next show. Have a good time.